After Kunigami's miraculous save against France's offensive play, Blue Lock continues with another counterattack. So let's dive right in and see who will lead Japan towards another goal. This chapter is titled Choice for the Future, and it begins with a flashback of Kunigami's combat training for the U20 World Cup. Ego's letter stated that for Kunigami, the answer lies in battle, and he must become the ultimate physical combat warrior. This man is out here training for a Mortal Kombat tournament, and need I remind you that this is a football manga. Anyways, we then flash forward to Ego, who reiterates that the special training he gave Kunigami focused on honing the spacing needed for combat sports, while building the physique that will keep him on his feet during physical collisions. These weapons are useful for a striker, but they are weapons that allows him to excel in any position, which in this match, according to Henri, he is playing as a defensive midfielder. And before I continue, why has no one else on the team learned this? I feel like this would have benefited everybody, especially Isagi. As the loose ball is in the air, hovering over Charles and Shido, Ego narrates that using Kunigami along with Shido and Baro on the field allows for an easy counterattack as there are many players on the offensive. Thus, Rensuke Kunigami, Blue Lock's hero, will use his body as a shield to interrupt France's offensive attack, becoming Blue Lock's defensive tank. Japan then cheers him on, celebrating his spectacular save. Now, while I'm thankful for Kunigami having some significance after his poor performance in the NEL, all I gotta ask is, what about Aiku? Where is Aiku? Shouldn't he be doing something similar? Nonetheless, Ryu catches the loose ball, finally doing something this match, keeps it away from Leiden, and begins Blue Lock's counter-attack. As he passes to Hiyori, we cut back to Isagi, beginning another one of his yap sessions. He states that Ego's plan is working, which involves Karasu being the center of their attacks, which allows him to focus on moving behind the main formation and strike the enemy's weak points. So think of it as a two-sided strategy where Karasu is the main system and Isagi the subsystem. Switching back to Hiyori, he passes the ball to Rail as Isagi continues to narrate. Since they're keeping up with the France players much better than in the first half, it's beginning to wear down their opponents. But this isn't enough for him because there's something nagging him. As we witness Hugo ease up on Isagi for once in this match, giving this man a chance to breathe and terrorizing Rail, Isagi states that he can't visualize a way to beat Hugo. He contemplates that if he becomes the team's second best, focus only on passing, it would allow for an easier attack, but he'd just be doing what Hugo wants, playing his suitable role, which is not what Ego wants from him. And he still doesn't want that either. He still desires to be the world's greatest striker and states that he wants to find a theory to beat Hugo with his own goals, as we witness the activation of his metavision. And that's dang right, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, this is that's right, our favorite character, Isagi Yoichi, the soon-to-be #1 striker in the world. But suddenly, Umbaro appears, claiming how Isagi is not himself and how he can't smell a goal from him. He then info dumps on the reader, stating how Ego ordered Baro to exploit Isagi's moves to score goals, but right now, he's useless. In this match, he's not the king. And damn, just as Isagi was trying to motivate himself, Baro comes and gives him the Nagi treatment. A stunned Isagi looks at him, understanding that Baro can sense how weak his vision of the future is. Baro then proceeds to move on, looking for a new prey, someone who's worth devouring. Again, shaming Isagi, and this is so painful. Look how they massacred my boy. I refuse to believe this is happening. We then switch over to Karasu, witnessing his crow aura as he observes Rail and Hugo. He states how he and Isagi are alike, having the same soccer IQ and coming to Blue Lock with the same worries. We then go further into Karasu's character, seeing his past as well as his perspective on past Blue Lock experiences as he monologues. Like Isagi, he wanted to be a striker, but the gap towards that dream was very large. His desires didn't match his capabilities, knowing that his skills were suitable for a midfielder. But he fought so hard in Blue Lock to continue his dream of being a striker. However, the gap between him and Isagi grew bit by bit as the latter came closer to achieving the dream that he wanted, both in the U20 game and the NEL. Isagi was now the striker in the spotlight, and it pissed him off so much as he was being left behind. And you know, it always be your own people. Karasu has been hating since day one, and we saw this. Anyways, he wonders what does Isagi have that he doesn't. Because, you know, he's grateful for Ego's guidance, but is it useful anymore? As we see a past insinuation of Hugo's second best philosophy, Karasu can't help but wonder if that's why Hugo's words stuck with him and made complete sense. As he activates his metavision, he asks for a pass from Rail, at the same time acknowledging Blue Lock's limit with Isagi as number 1. After receiving the pass, he acknowledges that if he's the second best, he can change Blue Lock, which coincidentally is the same time Hugo praises him, stating how good he is. Hugo really be celebrating people when they conform to his ideals. However, Karasu knows that this isn't a complete answer, but it will do for now, as it is a choice for the future.
He said it! He said it!
Where he doesn't have to give up on his dream of being the world's best striker. As he charges forward with two front players in front of him, we see Aiku celebrating the changeup, Baro asking for a pass, and Hiyori wanting to follow Karasu's lead. As Karasu's aura veins start to appear, similarly in chapter 335, he states that if he creates a goal here and now, he will beat Isagi. As he sends a pass between the two front players, he says how he will make Blue Lock his team. And again, this guy is a certified hater. It really be your own people. The ball goes forwards, passing Charles, as Isagi acknowledges how perfectly timed the pass was. Karasu, grinning like a madman, states how his secret weapon is Shido Ryusei, the demon Isagi cannot handle. After a moment of shock, Shido grins maniacally, saying how his egotism is ready to burst. And this is where the chapter ends. Overall, this was a fantastic chapter. And in terms of my quick thoughts, all I gotta say is that Loki and Rin did not make a single appearance in this chapter, which is an absolute travesty. Loki continues to be a fraud, and Rin is just nowhere to be seen. Secondly, I did not expect a Karasu and Shido chemical reaction, but I'm not disappointed. The former number 2 and 3 of Blue Lock needed to interact more, and I'm glad we're getting it. Also, getting an insight into Karasu's character is great, knowing that he is secretly envious of Isagi and his accomplishments, similarly to Yukimiya, showcasing that he's not, content of being second best like we thought. Perhaps if he's as similar to Isagi like he has said, then he will be a good contender for the world's best striker. But, overall, thanks for watching. I'm like a week late with this chapter, but, thanks for watching regardless. Like, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And I'll catch you in the next one.